3, 2, 1.
Alright, so today we're back with an episode of your favourite podcast from Shanghai with the skyline in the background. We thought it'd be pretty cool.
You can see skyline setting's a bit different, but yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
We're still the same.
Yeah.
Ni hao. That's a good or bad.
Ni hao to all our overseas watchers.
Chinese viewers.
Yeah, they probably can't watch it actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, we just wanted to sort of record a podcast, do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
In a different country. It's the first episode of our travel series. Every single country, bro.
Who knows when the next episode will be?
Oh, well, we could do one in Amsterdam, to be fair. We'll probably
maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, like we got the Shanghai Tower, got the the Trade Center?
Financial Tower.
That's the Jinmao Tower, right?
Yeah.
And then next to Aran, we got the Oriental Pearl Tower.
You can actually see it. That
was honestly probably the best tower.
I don't know. I like the.
You like the tall one, yeah, fairs. But both of them really. Everything here is just so cool, man. Like,
travel's always great.
Yeah.
Seeing different cultures, like.
Especially, I feel like because obviously you go to Europe, it's like fine, but it's like when you go to China.
Because Europe and the UK are quite similar.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you go to China, it's a completely different
I think it's
culture for sure.
It's quite far from what you would be used to experiencing. It's similar-ish to the Middle East in some regards. It's similar-ish to the US. I think there's a big emphasis on community.
Yeah, you spoke about this earlier, about the American dream versus the Chinese dream.
Yeah. So it's like we were in a museum and then it says something about the Chinese dream and it's very community focused on. It's on like the country being ruled with prosperity or something and like righteous ruling and etc. Whereas obviously, if you say like American dream to somebody, then that's you're thinking about individualism, personal achievement, material success, etc., etc. Which is it's just interesting to see how these sort of dynamics play out. You can also see like when you walk around, or it's like the way policing is done, the way that there's certain things where we would say, oh, that's outrageous, what are civil liberties, etc., etc. Whereas here, it's very much like everyone follows this norm or rule for the sake of the community with less attention to, because it's not like a binary yes or no, because obviously we care about community and rules as well, but the focus is a bit shifted here.
Yeah, 100%. It's sort of community versus like individualism.
Yeah,
and you can see, so far, they're doing pretty well for themselves, you can see like how far ahead.
It's become like, I think we saw a picture of, it's like, was it the 70s or the early 90s?
Yeah.
Like none of this skyline was here, and now all of a sudden it's like all popped off.
Say what you want about communism, but
yeah. It's the thing is they don't really follow communism.
Yeah, I know.
Except by name. It's just sort of like, we are the government, we are a one-party state, and then we're just gonna. It's not really you can't really call it a dictatorship because there's not really a dictator, right? It's just like they call it like the political organs.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty an accurate way to describe how things are run here. It's like a series of hierarchies and rungs of accountability that sort of lead all the way to the top. And again, the focus is a bit different. For us, we say freedom. We have to have the right to say and do X, Y, Z. But but the values, I guess, are just emphasized differently here, and it's interesting to see. I'm not making a comment on whether it's good or bad. That's up to people to interpret. But it's just interesting to watch in sort of happen live in front of you.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's been pretty great. Like, we've actually seen a lot this holiday. Like,
yeah, I think maybe the strangest thing was the.
It
wasn't even old people. It was just like Hinge, but like sort of the Tinder real life.
There was like basically we went to some park.
Yeah.
It was a People's Garden, right?
I think it was the People's Garden. Yeah,
it was a People's Garden, and then there was just these literally 100 like old people just outside.
I think people's parents or something.
Yeah, it was basically
sheets of paper, basically just
Like these laminated
Like,
cards on
like,
the floor.
You know, Tinder or like Hinge profiles.
Like their age, their job, like
their salary,
their
height.
salary, their height. It was crazy.
What they were looking for.
And then like you walk past and you're like, oh, I like this one, and then you like pick up the and then you give them a call, and it's like,
wow.
And it's just it was crazy.
It's very.
No one came up
very
to us.
Very American.
Though.
I think that's what I thought when I saw it. It's like I think I said like to do or be some of the things that you see here.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe in the US as well. You sort of need some level of like.
There's definitely not that level of like
in the UK.
inhibition like general people have in the public here.
Or like lack of inhibition.
There's exactly. It's a lack of inhibition, which is pretty cool actually. That's one beneficial thing I feel like, because we also, you said this and it was like quite profound, where it's like in the UK it's like if someone comes up to you just like on the street and just starts talking to you, you immediately kind of have like this defense mechanism. You feel like,
you're like this
wrong,
guy's either nitty or he wants money. Or
like why are you talking to me? He's like, you just have your headphones in. And
yeah.
But it's like here it's like
everyone has their headphones.
Yeah, exactly, right. But it's like here it's like. It's like people come up to you.
I think it's very common in East Asia, in the Middle East, and in the US.
I think I like that a lot. You know, people are afraid to just.
Yeah, it's definitely refreshing to an extent.
Yeah, 100%. That was pretty cool too. That was definitely a culture shock.
Yeah, we didn't expect to find that, did we?
No, because we were like
we just have a stroll in the park.
There was just these guys. It was crazy. And then what did we do? So first day, let's like recap. What did we do? First day we landed.
Honestly, I don't remember the order of things. I know we saw the tower.
Yeah, I think that was the first.
We saw
day.
the other tower as well.
The first day we saw the tallest. I think that we saw the first day because we arrived in the morning and we were like,
we checked in.
Yeah, we checked in and we were like, let's go see the tower because we had to wait.
Was it the first or second day where we went in the sort of boat across the river?
That was like
with the motorbikes.
Day before yesterday. Right? No, that was.
That was the second day.
The second day.
Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah. So there was like this little like hover boat, and
I'm not talking about the night.
Yeah, sorry, no. So we had this little hover boat, and then there was like.
It's like a form of transport because they don't really have bridges. They have tunnels under the water.
They have underwater tunnels.
So if you're a pedestrian and you want to cross the river, you pretty much have to get on a ferry.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to be fair.
Yeah.
Like the motorcycles. I was so confused.
Yeah, full of motorcycles.
Yeah, it was good.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that was the Bund, wasn't it? Was that that was along the Bund? That's really cool to be fair. Like the riverfront view. Like it's like I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's like just behind Aran. You probably can't see it. But it's like
that way a little bit.
It's like one side is definitely way more built up than the other, though, for sure.
See, I don't know because I feel like I think I said this to you. East and West are sort of flipped compared.
Yeah, that's interesting actually to think about.
It's like we're on pretty much just about the east side, but the West is. I don't know. It's I want to say more industrial.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends where you go. I guess it's not a perfect analogy for London, but obviously towards the east here you have the coast as well.
Yeah, but the coast it's not like the same kind of coast that you'd see in like other cities. It's very like marshland. It's not really
marshland, like ships, farming, not like beach kind of coast.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What else? I guess like I haven't seen barely any tourists as well. Like it's not super.
It's not very popular for tourists.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And the ones that do come,
like German, Russian.
Yeah, Australians are very common.
We haven't seen any Brits, have we? I don't know.
Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people from the UK are very uncommon.
Yeah.
Because the visa free thing has just been approved, right?
Yeah, so people don't know probably. Yeah. But yeah, if you can come here pretty easily, right?
Because now there's visa free travel.
But still, is it for 10 days or just for?
No, it's 30 days.
30 days. There you go, right? I mean, and then what? Oh yeah, went outside.
Doing an advert for China.
Yeah, so they don't ban. They don't come knocking on.
It's on YouTube, so it's not.
Yeah, they don't
no
come.
one in China will see this anyway.
Yeah, true. They don't come knocking on a hotel door. We've been like hiding the microphone genuinely.
Yeah, in case they thought we were
doing like journalism
and
like, yeah. Oh my days. Suzhou was pretty cool as well, like that.
I actually quite through the canals. It's just a random town.
And these guys are like trying to make us get on them motorcycles.
Yeah, and then like so many people were like hello, like because they've never seen tourists.
And when they have like the young child, I wasn't Suzhou, but when they like make their kid like.
When this child came up to us and said hello, and then the mother was filming it.
Yeah, the mother was filming her kid say hi to like the first like gaijin she's ever seen.
That was very fun.
It was crazy. I really like that to be fair. Yeah, that was cool actually. And then we just saw like the same like temple in the with the lily pads like in the water.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Again, because it's a lot of swampland, marshland, lots of canals going.
It was so weird. Like everyone was like dressing up in like traditional kit, but you said people do that a lot.
I mean, I think it's quite common. People just dress up traditionally, go to some place,
and then just take some photos for like the gram. Yeah, fine.
But obviously, I guess from the UK perspective, we find it kind of
like what you go to Big Ben and like wear some like
dress
tweed
up, like,
coat or some shit.
In a suit or something.
Yeah, that's actually the equivalent.
It's kind of strange, I guess.
Yeah, when you think about it, like, when you compare it,
traditional English clothing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like the what's
like
that?
The top hat.
Yeah, like what's that show called? Peaky Blinders. That's
Peaky Blinders.
They just dress up like a Peaky Blinder and then you go to the Big Ben. Yeah. People do that. No, people don't do that.
People don't do that. Yeah. And then it's like when I was saying to you, when you see these people like talk to tourists and it's like they've never seen a tourist.
Yeah.
And it makes you think like it's quite interesting when you're from the UK and it's so culturally diverse.
Yeah, like,
it's like
everyone.
Like to us it's not shocking to see a Chinese person,
yeah.
but maybe to someone living even in Shanghai or definitely in one of the smaller towns to just see like English speaking tourists is definitely a once in a very long
especially
time
that
experience.
First like stretch of like the village when we got dropped off when we were in Suzhou, like I genuinely don't think they've seen tourists there. You know, like before we you know that first stretch where the guy came up to us on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they've seen tourists there because we took a bit of a weird way to get in.
Yeah.
So that was quite exciting. To be fair, that was quite interesting. But yeah. And then what did we do? And then let's INS review, bro.
INS.
Have you guys ever come to China?
Yes.
Shanghai.
It's like if they turned a shopping mall into a nightclub.
Yeah, he's genuinely insane.
It's definitely very interesting.
7 floors, and they're just like a different club.
Escalators.
There's like multiple different clubs on each floor.
Yeah.
And then you can buy like a pass. Again, everything here is super affordable as well.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. Like, food's great. Is it less or more than Beijing? I can't even remember, to be honest.
I think it's more expensive.
It's a little bit more expensive,
but it's still very cheap.
I mean, it's
here,
like
if you're used to
£10 per
Europe,
person.
this is very very cheap.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, INS was crazy. I mean, they just have everything there, and then
they have a lot of interesting things that you just don't have. I feel like people are much more experimental.
Yeah, 100%.
As in not people individually, but as in with the way things are run, the way business is conducted, the way things are constructed. I feel like this is kind of a cliche thing that everyone already knows and says, but Europe is very risk intolerant. You know, it's like everything has to be done in a certain way, and it's like very hard to deviate from that way.
Yeah. I mean, like that basement was like a fucking play was going on. Like it was like some, what was it?
Yeah, it was like a theatre.
It was like Helen of Troy or something. It was like some proper theatre play, and then the top floor was just like hip hop, and just like it just packed.
Wow,
so packed.
And you keep going into each place, and you're like, surely this can't be.
Yeah.
Like how like it's like you've never thought about maybe.
Yeah, and it's and it's like, and it was the I feel like the nightlife scene is crazy here. Like people are there early. People go clubbing. They're like 3 p.m. to like 6 a.m. genuinely.
And I can appreciate that, being during daytime is nice.
Yeah.
When we normally pull up at midnight.
Yeah. But it's like I feel like the city doesn't sleep though. It's definitely like I feel like people are just there's always something going on. Maybe like between.
I guess as much as you'd expect for any big city, not. I wouldn't say here's particularly more like awake at night.
You don't think so?
No, not really. Although for clubbing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the clubs close later here.
Yeah.
Close later. And then we went and we watched the Portugal-Spain game in this like. That was really cool. Actually.
That was quite fun.
Because it's like we did not expect, like obviously we went 15 minutes before the game.
Expecting a small bar.
Like a small bar, like probably not many people care about Portugal or Spain or whatever, right? And then we go.
There's so many people.
And there's like tickets outside.
And
like
most of the people are Chinese as well.
Yeah, so they're all Chinese, right? And it's like there's tickets outside, and like we had to stand, and like everyone was just crazy, and like every time Ronaldo came on screen, people were like screaming, like, oh my god, it's Ronaldo. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, sadly they lost, which was he's washed, but it's okay. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that was quite cool. That was pretty exciting stuff. Went INS twice, and today we're gonna go to the
maybe Found
158. Yeah, that's the plan. It should be cool. I think that's gonna be a bit like. Apparently, it's like a sunken plaza. It's like a, the Apple amphitheater.
Like the Apple Store.
Yeah, the Apple Store is just like a amphitheater. Like it's just like everything here is just like.
It's very experimental.
Yeah, they're just like why not?
Architecture and the design of things.
Yeah, 100%.
I think travel is just. I've made this comment before, but travel is so important for just expanding, like just seeing things, seeing different ways of life, seeing
100%.
just things you've never seen before.
100%. Like I think if you can travel as much as you can,
and it's the way that someone who travels thinks about the world is going to be markedly different to the way that someone who doesn't travel thinks about the world, because they've only seen a small slice, whereas. It's like, imagine there were different planets and you'd only been on one planet, right? But it's like, you could keep going. Like, imagine we could visit different galaxies as well, and then you just go to different galaxies, and it's just like, imagine all the things you could see.
Yeah.
All the weird and wonderful things that you could see and do. And, you come back to Earth and you tell people, and then, your grandma is just like, what the fuck?
It also makes you appreciate, like, different ways of going about things as well. Like, I think
like with the culture thing and the values thing as well, 100%.
Definitely some things we could implement. Like, why not go up to some random person and just talk to them about some shit? Like, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? But yeah, what else? What's on the agenda? Did you put some stuff on the agenda?
So we can talk about politics as we normally do,
as we always do, But yeah.
I guess spontaneity is an interesting one because it kind of relates to the idea of tourism. So I think I said this thing to you, like, when you're spontaneous with how you choose to act about things, your travelling just ends up being more fun. And your life in general, right? Because you can sort of put yourself into something and then it just turns out to be something new. Whereas if you're rigidly plan-focused, then it's harder, definitely.
Yeah, because how can you explore when you, like, if you've already... If you're like, oh, we're doing this day, doing that day, then you're not really exploring.
A plan already accounts. You sort of know everything on the plan already. So, if the plan goes according to plan, then you've not seen anything new.
Exactly, because then we're going to go to this whatever place, but you've already looked up.
So that's the beauty of travel, right?
Also, I think I feel like the brain really enjoys spontaneity, enjoys like a lack of rhythm.
Yeah, it's like when you see new things, it's being. I think this is a trap that people fall into, maybe. They think that being like the way to be productive or to live a good life is to be very like plan focused, or it's like at 6 a.m. I'm going to get up, and then at 7 a.m. I'm going to do this thing, and then at 8 a.m. I'm going to do this, and then at 9 a.m. etc., and then it's like the whole day has to be planned out. And in most people's minds that's productivity, but I don't agree.
I disagree as well, 100%. I strongly disagree. Like, I think that causes you to age, to be honest, doing that. Because it's like your brain it stops really functioning. It starts functioning on autopilot, and then you're not really like testing.
Didn't you say this thing to me of? You said something to me about age, maybe.
Yeah, I think there have been studies which show that like people who have very strict, rigid routines that like not necessarily they get Alzheimer's, whatever. But it's like your brain does like age. It is. I feel like there is like a risk of like a progressive sort of aging of the brain, 100%. I think, and in general, I mean, you're not really pushing your brain to do any. You know what I mean? You're not like.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And when you have something which you didn't necessarily expect to do, or like a new experience, it does like push your brain to function and like think about things and create new memories and store new memories and learn new skills. If you just have the same routine every day, then you're not really 100%. Testing yourself. And it's also even like, like especially like this year, like trying a lot of things, but it's like you'd be surprised how much your brain does on autopilot as well. You know what I mean? Like how much, without saying too much, it's like trying certain things that you can try. You know what I mean? It's like you'd be surprised.
I'm not following.
As in what I mean is like I think obviously like when you're like it's sort of like I think.
Is this something that can't go on the podcast?
No, I'm not saying I mean, I'll use a different example. Like, let's say being sleep deprived, for example. And like, it's like, you'd be surprised how much you can do. Like, even what you said about, like, your brain will... What does it do? Like, you'd be surprised how much like you're capable of doing, without really like thinking about like making that conscious.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
As in, like, where it's like, okay, voluntary or involuntary action, you'd be surprised how much is sort of involuntary in some capacity. Like,
okay.
It's like even...
Like the Tesla autopilot thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Okay. Fine.
That relates to... That relates... Yeah, you know what I mean? That relates to like, just being spontaneous and stuff like that. Because then you kind of really test yourself.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? But yeah. And then, I guess... And we're going to Amsterdam soon.
Yeah, that should be fun as well.
That'd be really cool. I'm excited. That'd be a good like jump from cultures. Like Beijing and then Shanghai and suddenly Amsterdam.
I think it's similar-ish to the UK, but maybe just got a bit of its own spin on it.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see as well. And then we're pretty much back in London.
I'm going on holiday again.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to Provence for my mum, and then Tenerife for my dad.
How long?
Like 5 days each.
Okay, fine. I think I'm going to Italy.
And you're going to Italy, to Rome with your family. Yeah, so that'll be cool. Have you been to Rome?
No, I've never been to Italy.
Bro, genuinely, Rome is like Rome is like the best like holiday destination to go to, like just to like to take, you know what I mean, like as in
to see things. You know,
it's
see
every,
this, see that.
You know, you can just walk everywhere because it's a small city, right? And it's like there's all the excavation architecture, all the ancient stuff is like exposed, right? It's just on the street, so you can just walk past and there's like a massive like you know, underground like city.
Oh, fine. So it's a bit like Athens.
Kind of, right? Yeah, it's a bit like Athens, but I've been to Athens, but it's better, I think, as well. And it's just like everything is just really accessible and like it's very. It's like you just walk outside, you see the Colosseum, it's like you just feel like satisfied that I've seen the Colosseum.
Yeah.
And then you see the whatever the other thing, and then it's, you know. But yeah, I think Rome, you'll really enjoy Rome. Well, definitely go to Trevi Fountain. That's quite nice.
Trevi Fountain.
Throw a coin in. That's cool.
Like when we were trying to throw the coin in the temple.
Bro, and then and see everyone just like scrambling to get the coin, bro. Oh, well, you know, actually, one place we didn't mention we went to was this like, what was the Hukong district? The Hong. It wasn't Hong Kong. It was like similar to Hong Kong. Was it like J-Town, like the museum?
The Jewish refugee.
Yeah, the Jewish refugee museum. That was
quite interesting. I didn't like. It's just stuff you didn't know.
Yeah, like I didn't
know that during World War II, Shanghai took in a lot of Jewish refugees.
Yeah, you just like that's. I don't think many people know.
And then 99.9% of them basically left immediately after the Second World War, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone knows that at all. But like the whole district is like.
It's very historic Jewish influence.
Yeah, it's like very influenced. I don't know if anyone that lives there.
I think there's like a few hundred, maybe. No.
But they're like Chinese Jewish, you know what I mean? Like
you know, you spend enough time here and then you just.
Yeah, but it's really interesting, to be fair. That was actually quite cool. And then we went to the art museum today.
Oh yeah.
That was weird.
That was very interesting. It's interesting seeing the sort of Eastern art. And it was, in the museum it was talking about a lot of the things, like for example how Eastern art is focused on like spirit and form, whereas Western art is focused on sort of portraying objective reality as accurately as possible, and it was just interesting to see the difference.
Yeah, different approaches. Yeah, that's quite interesting to be fair. And then there was like a whole exhibition on like just the economy basically.
Yeah, on the financial sector and banking and giving out loans and you know, it was basically a bunch of pictures with text. It wasn't.
Which was not in English, which was interesting also to think
Google
about.
Lens everything.
Yeah. It's interesting what they made like tourist friendly when they chose not to, I guess.
Yeah, only the first floor was. I guess they sort of gave up. They thought maybe the tourists won't make it to the top floors.
By the way, that building, like, if we see on our posts or whatever, like, it is genuinely insanely big.
It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
And most of it's not even used as well. Like, it's just empty space inside, to be fair to you.
Yeah, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. Everything here is just insane. Like, the scale of everything is really...
Things are really big. Like, any train station... The train stations are pretty much like airports. Yeah. You know, especially the railway stations. Like, what you get
that's one thing we also noticed is that... Like, because when we went to Suzhou, We used the train, but it's like an airport essentially. There's not that many domestic flights, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll just sit rail takes people to
and just go all the way to.
And your passport, your ticket is always sort of linked
attached
to your ID.
Or passport,
so pretty much, if you have, it's a good way to track everyone and to know where everyone is and what everyone's up to. It makes traveling really hard, actually. You can't. It's the reason crime is low. Traditional crimes is because if you get on a train, you have to have some sort of ID, so everyone pretty much knows who you are unless you make a fake ID or something. But it's like everything is in some central database. It's one of those things where we would say maybe that's maybe infringes on some aspects of liberty, but on the other hand, it does work for state security, so it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, because they try. I feel like in Europe, like that system has been, or similar system has been tried to be implemented, but there's always a lot of pushback. Like the ID system, or like issuing. Where was this that they tried? Was it in like? Was that?
I know there's a digital ID thing in the UK,
but like, has that really taken off?
I don't know. The government wanted to implement it, and it just sort of has been bogged down.
Because everyone's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I think same thing in like Netherlands and Belgium and all those, like some of those like big European countries. But it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I don't feel like there's a lack of free. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's hard to know as a tourist. But you don't. I mean, you don't see any. But
there's something you can't criticize the government, for example.
Right. Because this is good because I just went to Valencia like before this trip, and like I mean, immediately you see protests everywhere. I mean, I don't know in Barcelona if there were any protests.
There were. I think after we went 2 years ago, there were big protests against tourists, so we were quite lucky in that sense. Fine.
But anyway, a lot of times you go on holiday, there's some sort of like political unrest, but here there's no. I mean, there might be, but there's no sign of that at all.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to think about as well. Also the cars, that's cool as well to think about.
Yeah, most of the cars here are electric, and it's interesting seeing how Chinese cars have sort of, displaced a lot of like legacy manufacturers in Europe and America, and how the share of Chinese cars abroad is increasing as well.
Yeah, even like where I live, there's some what's that brand?
BYD.
Yeah, BYD. There's a couple of BYDs.
It's becoming very big now, which is, at the end of the day, they are businesses, but there's also some element of what they say about government subsidization and etc., which makes it kind of unfair that they can make cheaper cars. Which I guess kind of brings us to politics, which is a standard topic on this podcast, right? There's been a lot of interesting political developments. So one thing is here, you can't really use BBC News. You can, but it's like a sort of China version of BBC News. So obviously a lot of the stories are going to be different. Also, I think Google News is the best way to look at stories but then even then it's weird because everything you see is somewhat curated, right? So there's a lot of, as in it's hard to actually consume the same news that you would consume in the UK.
Yeah.
But obviously, we've heard about this, like Nigel Farage finances thing, and also, US-Iran sort of war. I don't think there's been any other major political developments recently, but...
And the war.
Yeah. That's interesting, actually, because it seemed like we were close to an end, and then the end sort of just didn't come. And I think it's hard to really know what's going on the inside and who you can blame for it, but I don't know. I was hoping that, and everyone I think was hoping that, it would sort of be over, but instead it's turned out that someone, did something and then it's just all sort of boiled over.
I mean, I guess it's like there's always going to be conflict, I think, in that region.
Yes, but that's not saying it's just the Middle East. It's not really.
No, I know. I know. But I'm saying I just think that I don't think America is really ever going to back down or back away from that region.
But I see. I don't know. I'm more inclined at this point to blame the Iranian government because it sounded like they decided to strike ships for essentially no reason.
Yeah.
Even though the agreement clearly said okay, we will stop striking ships and leave the strait open. And I think after that, Trump said, well, what the fuck? Because we had an agreement and it's just been broken multiple times.
Yeah.
And so we don't really know what's going on the inside or etc. But it does lean for me towards being Iran's fault.
At least for this part of the situation, yeah. Agreed, but I guess it's just a tricky thing. Like it's sort of like the chicken and the egg kind of thing, where it's like,
yeah,
who's retaliating for what at this point?
Yeah, exactly. As it always is with these things.
Yeah. I guess that's difficult. Oh look, the sun is set. We can probably see.
Yeah, the sun is
cool.
actually set.
I don't know if you can see it in the camera.
Progressively, the skyline has become darker throughout the course of this episode.
But you can see all the lights and all the skyscrapers. Can you? I don't know if you can.
No, well.
You can see the tall tower. It says, what does it say? Welcome to Shanghai, or something.
It just says Shanghai Tower.
See Shanghai from the top. Welcome to Shanghai. Okay. Yeah, we'll go on that. That's, by the way, just for scale, like that tower is pretty much as tall as Burj Khalifa as well. Which is pretty insane. It's got
the observation deck is higher than the Burj
Khalifa.
But the Burj Khalifa is the tallest tower in the
world. Yeah, obviously, but this is not that far behind.
No, and it's also, if you account for the fact that the Burj Khalifa sort of narrows up a lot at the top.
There's not that many usable floors on the top, whereas this, I think, most of the floors are usable.
Yeah, pretty much apart from.
Do you think the
billboard is?
that financial trade tower? Do you know the top, like the bit that's like above the hole is usable?
I want to say that it is usable.
That'd be pretty crazy. To be fair. The viewing deck would go crazy on that if they had one.
Yeah,
but it's not open to the public, sadly. Is it? I don't think you can.
I don't think so. I think too many people would try and jump off.
You think so?
Well, it's very open. It's pretty much like a patio.
Yeah.
With these observation decks, it's also just unsafe in general. Wind can easily blow people off.
True, that's very true.
At that height. And that thing probably exists for wind.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these have those holes in them, even back in the UK. But yeah. Are the lights getting brighter, or am I just tripping?
No, our lights are getting brighter because it's darker outside now.
They feel brighter, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. But what else was on the list?
Should we talk about Love Island?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Why not?
Is that a new thing we can add to
why not?
The list of topics for these episodes?
I've converted you to...
Yeah, I think it's actually quite an interesting show because originally, when you don't know anyone, like you're not following it, you think, it's not very interesting. But it's like once you know all the people, then it's like
you become invested.
You become invested in it, right? Yeah. It's like if you just came into uni now, then you maybe you're not going to be that interested in the sort of dynamics of uni, but having been there for time and being entrenched in it, you are. It's not like a interesting point. It's just a basic component of how human thinking and relationships work. And so now, knowing all the characters is very interesting.
And I don't think it's just slop either. To be honest, I think
you see very interesting dynamics of how relationships work and how people interact with each other.
I feel like you can actually take something out of it. To be honest, even when I've watched it,
it's very interesting. How many self-reflective moments have we had?
We have actually had quite a lot.
So many.
I guess if you're on an island for just 2 months, and it's just all you have to focus on is just human interaction. You can learn a lot about yourself or just about human interaction.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? So, and that is actually quite interesting. What's happened recently? Simba's just
coming back. The Simba betrayal.
Simba. The Casimir was
Jasmine thing.
It was all actually kicked off.
And I think it's tricky, and then I think we had this long conversation of what is love.
Yeah,
I think that was super interesting.
That was actually really cool.
People say they have emotions, right? But, I mean, emotions at the end of the day are not enough to carry you. But then at the same time, it's like, what if let's say you go through a honeymoon period and the emotions die down?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Does that mean you're just, in the most extreme form, you could interpret that as, oh, this person isn't for me anymore. But things are obviously not that simple, right? So, and we know that a lot of the time romantic relationships don't really work out, but so that you sort of have to strike a balance of
we talk about this like friendship versus like as in being
exactly. Friendship is much more successful in terms of its chances of succeeding. Like if you make a good friend and you've been good friends for, let's say, a few months, your chances of remaining good friends with someone are very high for the rest of your life. Whereas with romance, it's like 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work out. In fact, 95, maybe even a higher percentage of the time it won't work out. And it's just interesting to think about why. And I think it's because it's more grounded in emotions compared to a friendship. And there's with friendship it's like there's an element of mutual cooperation, whereas with romance it's so driven, especially in the beginning, by sort of the emotions attached to it, that you become blinded maybe to the flaws of other people, and then you sort of maybe at some point down the line you think, what am I doing?
Also, I think it's a lot of like maybe it's like with like our current generations, or like even in the show, like if you look at like Simba's character flaws, it's like a lot of it is like lustful. Like I feel like people are very lustful nowadays.
And I agree, 100%. It's like, when he says all this stuff of like, oh, you're the one for me, and like God put you here, and
then he just says the same things, and it's just and then he just
and it's like, come on, like
Basically, it feels very like I feel like with him, it's like obviously maybe he hasn't carried himself well, but it's like a lot of it is like there's this like sense of lust where I feel like that is like quite a big problem. Like I think not just for everyone, to be honest, and like how that like affects people's decision making.
Yeah, 100%.
And how that can like maybe that's the difference between like friendship and romance, and sort of how that makes like romantical, is that even a word? Romantic relationships like that creates like that impacts how like successful this can be, whereas with like friendship there's it's more grounded in just like your basic interactions with people, and like I don't know. 100%. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to think. Or like I guess like when people say like you should be friends with your partner first and foremost, or like that should be like a very important part of the relationship. And then it's sort of like obviously I mean I don't know. It's like I guess like what is romance? What does that really consist of? Like
I mean it's interesting to think about, isn't it?
Like what differentiates like a friendship love? I guess you do love your friends, right? I mean I don't know, like what's
but it's like is it just sex? Like surely but it's
like
as in it's like is it just friendship plus sex? No, because there's another component of romance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you've got 3 different competing things going on there.
But like romance is in like doing things to what like make the other person happy, or
no, but it's as in the feeling of romance is obviously different.
Yeah, from the
feeling of just sexual desire.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like
it's like lust is like sort of a mixture of both.
Yeah, it is.
It's tricky, definitely, to think about.
I feel like a lot of people struggle with this now. I don't know if it's just now or forever, but I don't know.
I don't know actually.
I think there's definitely like a bigger problem now with.
But are we even sure about that? Because we know, for example, I don't know, like Henry VIII remarried like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Etc.
And then is he like a bad example because like for him obviously, being like the king and stuff, it like skews.
But it's like sometimes when you hear things do succeed, it's like, is a person really satisfied, or is it because they're pressured by
this is one thing I meant
their culture, or like if they're famous, for example, like maybe you're gonna say, oh, some other kings had a like single marriage for the rest of their life and they were happy, but it's like, was that because they had to be in that? Because a lot of the time you hear, oh, they had to basically be in that situation because they were like the sort of public image and etc. So it's definitely a tricky one to think about.
Yeah, I mean I think it's interesting to see how people view relationships and how like the show Love Island is actually good. You know what? Like you actually learn a lot about how people like treat each other and like what people's approaches are to relationships and stuff like that. and like what you can
and it's
learn.
not just romance. It's also friendship.
Yeah, it's also
because it's like, for example, how the girls act with each other, or how the boys act with each other.
Yeah, like how Mika maybe like slimed out like Priya, but then it's like
yeah,
how the boys like have each other's back, and is that to a fault maybe as well? You know what I mean? Like you could argue maybe like some of the advice Aiden was giving was maybe not that good. I don't know, and like. I guess like also like just how culture has become a lot like maybe it always has been, but like boys versus girls. I don't know. I feel like that's been quite prominent. Like
boys versus girls.
As in like in the show, it's like very prominent how it's like there's almost a level of animosity between the two groups, because it's just like this like fundamental like disconnect. Like the girls are like, these guys should be doing this, and then the guys are like, no, the girls should be doing this. You know what I mean? It's like there's a it's like a I don't know if that's just like how
they have big expectations of what the other group
should be doing, and it feels like that there's a lack of like understanding of like how the other group would act as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's interesting. It's interesting to see that, I guess.
Or maybe sometimes one of the girls will do something, but then when the boy does something, it's called out immediately.
But then do boys and girls have different like what's the word, like expectations as well? That's like other different.
So are you saying should they be held to different standards? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I guess that people do say. I mean, I guess that is true though, right? I mean.
But surely they should be held to the same. Like I don't really see a strong argument either way.
You think that
of like either group being that saying either group should be held to a higher standard? No.
Not a higher standard, but just different standards, maybe.
Then what does that mean? For example, like, can the girls cheat and do what the boys were kind of doing?
No, but I think what it means is that I think. Because I guess obviously like there's elements of the show which then maybe like aren't obviously like applicable
because
to
they know it's Love Island as well.
And also like a lot of the boys like argument is like, well, it's Love Island, so like the whole point of Love Island is to like meet people and like flirt with people and stuff. So I guess there's obviously that maybe should be like more accepted, and the girls are maybe like treating it too seriously in some capacity. You know what I mean? Like, whereas it's not the outside world. Like obviously, the point of the show is to just kind of like explore different people and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, I hear that.
But then obviously, you have to be respectful as well, and I think there's a lack of that.
Yeah.
But I guess people are held to different standards, aren't they? That is just our society, right? As a man, I feel like it's less acceptable for you to maybe like be emotional. I don't know, emotional, but.
But as in, it seems like a lot of the girls think that the boys shouldn't react.
Yeah.
When one of them does something, even if the boys find it hypocritical. But that doesn't mean that they should be. But it seems like the girls think that they should be in a lot of situations.
But then on the flip, you could say, well, there's like a level of. Maybe it's like I feel like it's easy for like the boys or like just men to like kind of not be held accountable for certain like.
But are they not being held accountable?
But they are being held accountable, but maybe it feels hard for them to really actually like be remorseful for their actions and actually like change how they're acting. It's like with Simba, even with Cav, it's like they've done the same thing a couple of times where it's like maybe.
I mean, we shouldn't equate Cav and Simba, but.
Yeah, maybe not. But they are though, so. In some capacity.
As in the girls.
Yeah, as in some capacity, they feel that they're both in this sort of similar level of wrong, I guess. I think.
Yeah.
In the element of like telling their sort of part or whatever, their not girlfriend, but you know what I mean, like their girl one thing, but then kind of acting quite differently when they were away. As in giving them like whatever, Jasmine, whoever, like a sense of, as in like this sense of security, like, oh, you're the one for me, and then when the moment they're not there.
I think they have an issue where the things they say don't really match their actions at all.
But I don't think they match their feelings either. That's what I'm saying. Where I feel like they
but
feel
this
like
is the problem. Feelings are fluid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So feelings change. So maybe in that moment they did feel that way.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. But then it's like how much.
So that's what maturity is. Maturity is being able to see above that and say, okay, I'm feeling this kind of way, but that doesn't mean that I should say X, Y, and Z right now.
But is that not being like genuine to yourself? Like, should you just be honest with your hype? But I guess
but you can say, okay, so you're in their boots and there's this girl and you feel like you really like her, but you have to have the maturity to say to her, okay, I feel like I really like you, but it's early days, and it's just about like timekeeping, right, and just sort of letting things go along as gradually as they can, right, where not just people who come into a relationship immediately, like, you know, you got like your Romeo and Juliet, right, where it's like the guy, you know, decides he's in love with her before he's met her.
Is that not a very lustful relationship? I feel like
that's what I'm saying. That's not, that has no real legs or value to stand on. It's liable to failure, and maybe that's kind of the moral of the story of Romeo and Juliet, because they both end up killing themselves within a short span of time, because it's just bullshit to just because you feel some kind of way to just immediately go in and say, okay, I really like you, etc., etc., and then it's just prone to failure, because that's not how. It's kind of like the friendship thing. Like, friendship doesn't form. Like, I don't see you one day and decide we're going to be friends forever. Right?
Yeah, it's like a gradual process. Bullshit. It's a gradual process. Yeah.
And exactly.
But then
that trust and that connection,
that romance element adds like a level of. It's like
unreliability, because it's very emotion based.
It's kind of like, you haven't watched The Boys, right? The Boys is finished now. I'll spoil it for you, but basically there's this character called Sage, who like essentially like she's meant to be like, her superpowers that she's the most intelligent person on the planet essentially. So she like, and it's a bit of a plot point, but whatever. Essentially she just like orchestrates everything that happens, like as in like she's like Homelander's like sidekick sort of in a way. She like orchestrates everything, like him like taking over the White House and like becoming the supreme ruler of America. Obviously his character is like kind of loosely like based on maybe Trump, whatever, like in some capacity, right? But anyway, but she like is like the one who orchestrates everything. Yeah. And she's obviously very intelligent and like that's. But then so there's another character who essentially Homelander isn't immortal, but there's a way for him to become immortal, and his dad is, and his dad has the key or that access to like this.
Where is his dad?
Is Soldier Boy like? Oh yeah,
Soldier Boy's dad.
Yeah, and then so he has like the V1 serum that you can inject him with.
I didn't know Soldier Boy was immortal.
He is. They find out he's immortal basically because of the V1, whereas Homelander has this like generation below kind of like the newer like serum.
Okay.
And then it's like essentially, she plans like this whole thing where it's like, Soldier Boy's gonna get the immortal serum from this like other guy, and then give it to. What does it give it? Because so she wants to bring down. I'm trying to remember what happens in the show. She wants to bring down Homelander, right? Basically, right? Because she knows that Homelander's unstable, and if he becomes immortal, it's going to just ruin everything. And she doesn't want that to happen, right?
So why does she let him get to such a high position?
Because she wants to trick him into thinking that... I can't remember... It's like, there's a reason why she... I think she just wants like there to be anarchy and like just to bring down the entire like political system in America so that either she can rule or she can just have something else. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, she plants all these things like where basically she makes Homelander out to be like this really awful person. I mean, he is, and like she shows Soldier Boy all these things, and then like she expects Soldier Boy to kind of be like, oh yeah, fuck Homelander, like he's a really twisted guy, and like I'm not going to give him the serum. And then and Soldier Boy says this to her, and like it's kind of clear that obviously Soldier Boy like knows that Homelander's a very unstable person and like he should not have the serum. But in the last second, like Soldier Boy does give him the serum because she doesn't account for like the sort of irrational like feeling of like love that Soldier Boy has towards Homelander, despite everything. Like Soldier Boy still ultimately is like, well, this is my child. Yeah. Even though it's not like his actual child, like it's like a clone, like not clone. You know what I mean? Like it's like he obviously hasn't raised Homelander or anything. Like, there's no like necessarily like paternal feeling there, but it's like there's still this fundamental like irrational like feeling of like emotion that is often like it's like she doesn't account for basically. And just basically the whole show ends essentially because of that. You know what I mean?
So Homelander becomes immortal.
Yeah, he does, but then he doesn't. It's like the show kind of like just falls off a bit. Eventually, he becomes immortal for like an episode, and then they find another way to get rid of him, basically. And then,
okay, fine.
But it's like obviously, they don't account like for the fact that Soldier Boy actually would act somewhat irrationally because humans.
So what happens to Sister State?
She just like she loses her power essentially, and she just becomes like a stupid child.
How does she use her power?
There's this one character who can just like... Soldier Boy's power is basically he can like remove other people's powers by like doing this like chest blast.
Okay.
And then they give this Japanese superhero he's like she's a protagonist, right? And then they give I don't know if she's Japanese actually. But anyway, they give her like some radiation, and then she becomes like Soldier Boy. I don't know, it's like so contrived. It happens over the course of like one episode, and then she blasts everyone, and then Sister Sage loses her power, and then she's
so did Homelander like have a thing for Sister Sage, or like
no. He just like knew that she was more intelligent than him, and was like, well, you do all the dirty work, while I just become like the king of the world essentially. And then he also gets blasted, and then he has no power, and he's just a mortal human being, and then he just gets killed basically.
Homelander.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then this all happens in the Oval Office, by the way. I'm not even kidding. And then like the episode before, there's like a character who's meant to be Elon Musk, and then like Homelander just kills him. So, like you have to look this shit up on.
What do you mean a character's meant to be Elon?
Anyways, there's like essentially there's this guy who comes into a Homelander's office, because obviously Homelander's now like the president, right? And then he's like wearing like a black like Homelander hat, and it's like he obviously looks a bit like Elon Musk, right? And then he's like, yeah, like we should do some rockets, and like you mean your boys, and then Homelander's like, yeah, come in, and then he just like kills him. And it's like, bruh, and it's like obviously it's like it was just like no need. I don't know, it's just funny. Like obviously
it's just like it's just it
is quite. I mean, it's
quite
funny.
Slapstick comedy.
Yeah, it's like obviously just like it's a bit lowbrow, but it's funny though. I think it's, I don't know. But yeah. And did you see actually was this because they disbanded Doge or whatever? Or they
did they?
Yeah, they did.
Doge is like it disbands everything, and then in the end it has to disband itself.
It's
like the long term, like Doge, that's its purpose. It served its purpose. Yeah. It disbanded everything and then disbanded itself, and now it's done.
Yeah, and then
the job is done.
Yeah, literally. But if I turn this off, we'll be able to see the background. Oh no. No. How do I turn those off?
No, those are over there.
I wonder if we can see like the backdrop. You kind of. Oh yeah, this is okay.
Is it?
If I turn this off.
I say keep the cross line.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good.
No, but you can at least people can see the background there.
What does it look like? Actually, I'm curious.
I mean, you can see the skyline pretty well. To be fair to you, it is pretty crazy.
But can you see us?
No, you can't. Wait,
let me turn this. No, that's not. No. Okay, cross light is the best way to do it.
Oh yeah, actually, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can kind of see everything. But yeah, no.
We look very bright now.
Do we? No, just sit a bit forward. I sit backwards.
We look very bright. Maybe turn that one off.
Oh, this is good. This is better. This is a lot better.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Actually, this is pretty cool. You can see the back. You can see the outline.
No.
But what are we talking about? We're talking about like.
Homelander.
But what was that because of? It was basically people act irrationally.
Yeah.
That's what we're essentially saying, and how like maybe in like relationships with romance is like the irrational element maybe, because you can't rationalize love, can you? Right?
No.
As much as maybe we want to. But we're both pretty rational people. You want to like be able to like understand everything and like rationalize.
Yeah.
So you can't, right? I mean, I guess that's the element that like is what makes it exciting as well, because it's something that you can't.
Well, maybe yeah.
You can't quantify. That's what puts a relationship with someone above like maybe a friendship. I don't know. Although you can have that in a friendship, though, I guess.
But then this goes back to the same thing, because surely eventually your emotions aren't reliable enough to carry you. Listen, if you look at successful long-term relationships, at least how they seem to be portrayed from the outside, it's always like there's always active effort, right? It can't just be like emotions can't carry a relationship forever. Emotions don't last. Eventually, the lust becomes uninteresting, and then the emotions will just die down, and then it's like what really matters is what you have left after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that was pretty profound.
Yeah, let's write that shit down.
Have we covered every? I feel like we've covered every.
Have
major
some coffee,
topic.
bro. Have some coffee.
Coffee. Today's sponsor.
Yeah, today's sponsor is Beanstar Coffee.
Yeah. It's not actually a sponsor, by the way.
No, what did they actually sponsor?
But it's like if you declare a sponsor, is that not a problem? Because it's not actually a sponsor.
Yeah, well, they're going to do like CCP's going to come to us.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about YouTube, not CCP.
Oh no, we're there. They're not sponsoring it. We're joking, by the way. I'm going to blow this out. do you think YouTube care? Like, do you think?
Because they can't dive into the video far enough to find like, oh yeah, unless they use like some AI transcription.
But do you think
which is actually quite?
Do you think videos on YouTube like under like 1,000 views can get away with anything?
But it just takes one person to report your video.
Maybe that's true. But let's say hypothetically, though. Like, let's say like a video with 50 views could just get away with absolutely anything. Or do you think that's like the algorithm is able to like dive into the video? Let's say
I think the thumbnail and title, no, but I think the thing is now even AI bots can check the video itself.
But is that like how much power, like what's it like processing power, like how many videos are
maybe not that much if you just transcribe it
billions and billions of hours every day probably.
Yeah, but I mean think about people use AI billions and billions of times. It's not.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not crazy.
Like as in like if we just like now it's like been 50 minutes, right? We just inserted something like just outrageous. No, we would. But I'm saying, you know what I mean? It's like
we would.
Well, it's like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Like would the algorithm be able to actually pick up on that? Probably, right?
I have no idea. I want to say yes, but it depends how long.
Yeah.
But it's possible, definitely.
Isn't that what he does in Fight Club?
I was going to mention that.
Actually,
yeah.
When he just inserts like
he inserts frames of porn into kids' movies.
But like for like 1 second.
Yeah, which is definitely quite odd.
And if you watch the film, I don't know if you noticed this, but they do it in the film a couple of times as well. After he says it, they insert like just like a split like for one frame like a couple of times like in like the 10 minutes after he says it.
Of porn? Yeah. I've never noticed that.
Have you not?
No.
Even like the same way that like they flash
yeah, Brad Pitt,
there's a couple of things like that.
I didn't know they flash other things.
Yeah, they flashed that a couple. I think they once or twice like after he says
wow, okay.
Which is kind of like
it's quite interesting.
Portable type of shit.
That movie is really
That was a really good film. That's like that movie's like imagine if all the skyscrapers just exploded behind us. That's like what would happen.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. Because we're in one right now.
Because we are in one right now.
Should we give away our location? Or do you think people will be able to find our location from us?
We won't be here when this gets uploaded.
Do we try and upload it? Would you ring up? Would that be?
Yeah, because it's just we don't have data.
Yeah, we do.
We don't.
We don't.
We don't have data, and then YouTube is banned on, so we can't use Wi-Fi.
Actually, speaking of like yesterday.
Yeah.
Your last break, by the way. Oh, that was a great game, by the way. I think.
Everyone says that.
It wasn't shown on the highlights, but apparently there was a disallowed Egypt goal. That was maybe not good. And Pessi did miss his penalty. You can't call him Pessi anymore. He's missed 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad. But yeah, was it France Argentina final? France gonna win.
I think that.
Mbappe, Ballon d'Or. Do you think? Surely.
Was it not supposed to? So last year it went to Dembele.
Right. I don't think it'll be Dembele again. I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I think he's been good, but it's like it's clear that Mbappe.
Has Mbappe won a Ballon d'Or yet?
No.
I think it could very well be Mbappe.
Was it? And there's the Golden Boot, but that's like the World Cup Golden Boot, right?
Yeah.
That'll probably go to Mbappe as well.
Yeah.
Unless Messi just pulls out. They're both on the same number, no? I think
in this World Cup?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
I have no idea.
They both scored in like every game, which is pretty insane. To be fair. Ronaldo crashed out, which is sad. It's quite sad. How we watch like the worst game? It always happens to me. Right? We're like, no, let's watch this game. It's like
1-0.
Yeah, 1-0 in the 90th minute. Who scored Marino? Like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, I had the pleasure of watching Bayern versus PSG.
Yeah. No, obviously you watched some good games, but
yeah. Should we end the episode?
Do you want to end the episode?
Yeah. It's basically an hour.
Yeah, is that our limit, an hour?
Well, no, but we normally make them around an hour.
I hear that.
Fine.
Wait, okay, let's wrap this up. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks everyone for making it this far, if you've made it this far.
Yeah.
I don't know what day this will be when we put it out. We'll put it out before Amsterdam.
I reckon, yeah, we could do it.
We can try and put it out before Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But yeah, please visit Shanghai. It's not a sponsor. But visit Shanghai.com. No. But yeah, no. Honestly, yeah, it's traveling's good. If you can travel, don't waste your money on a watch. Go see the world, bro. That's the moral of the story. Yeah.
Alright, should we clap out?
Yeah, let's clap out. Alright.
3, 2, 1.
I think you can see that. Oh.